What's going on, guys? Mr. Marklevitz here today to bring you your final lesson for Unit 1 on narrative storytelling. Today we are talking about narrative time. So, what does that mean, right? Well, you're a screenwriter now, you're writing your script, you need to decide how much time you want to devote to each scene, right? How much time do I need in order to tell my story, right? So I want to talk about two different items here, story duration and screen duration, and explain how they apply to everybody's favorite film, Pulp Fiction.
Come on, let's get in character.
Pulp Fiction is a unique film because Quentin Tarantino, the screenwriter and director, took all of the events in the story and jumbled them up, okay? It doesn't start with the first scene and end with the last scene chronologically, okay? If you were to take all of the events that occur in that film, the very first scene is Christopher Walken's character giving a young Bruce Willis, it's actually not Bruce Willis, it's a kid that looks like Bruce Willis, but giving Bruce Willis's character, Butch, a tiny watch, okay? And given the age of Bruce Willis in 1994, we can assume that this scene with Christopher Walken and the child actor is supposed to be about, 25 years earlier, give or take, okay? So that's the first scene in the story. But that is not the first scene in the movie. That scene occurs in the middle of the film, okay? If, again, you were to take all the scenes from Pulp Fiction, string them out, the last scene in the film, chronologically speaking, would be Butch, Bruce Willis's character, on a chopper with his girlfriend, and she says, "Whose motorcycle is this?" And he goes, "It's not a motorcycle, it's a chopper."
It's a chopper, baby.
Whose chopper is this?
Zed's.
Who's Zed?
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
And then they drive away. Again, that is not the last scene in the movie, but chronologically speaking, it is the final scene, okay? So, if we took that first event, Christopher Walken giving Butch a watch, and that last event, Butch and his girlfriend riding off on a chopper, and took all that time in between, how much time elapses between the first scene and the last scene? Well, that's the story duration, okay? The time span encompassing all of the story events. And if you were to do that, it would be about 25 years, okay? The screen time is just the running time of your film, whether that be, 30 seconds or 5 minutes or 2 hours, whatever it might be. The screen time for Pulp Fiction is, 2 hours and 15 minutes, probably give or take around there, okay? So Tarantino, as the screenwriter, had to delete some things in order to cram 25 years of information into 2 hours and 15 minutes, right? So how did he do it? Well, that moves on to our third point here, ellipses, right? The omission of significant chunks of story in the on-screen plot, okay? It's important that we see Christopher Walken give young Butch that watch. That is important. We need that, okay, in order to understand his motivation for getting the watch back as an adult, all right? What we don't need is Butch as a teenager, Butch in his 20s, Butch in his early 30s. Butch isn't even the main character of this film, all right? We can get rid of all of that crap. It doesn't matter, okay? All we need is that flashback of him getting the watch in order for us, the audience, to understand, oh, this watch is important to him. That's why he's going to such great lengths to get it back when we see him now as an adult. All the rest of the stuff, just get rid of it, okay? This is a problem that a lot of young filmmakers and a lot of my students have, is not knowing what to cut out, right? Let's say your movie is about somebody, coming to school in the morning. We see them park their car, get out of the car, say hey to their friends, walk across those balance beams in the parking lot, cut across the grass even though you're not supposed to do that, enter the building, open your locker, get the thing out, talk to another friend, go to the restroom, enter your class. You don't need any of that stuff in order for the audience to understand this is a person who's coming to school and now they're in their classroom. I have a shot of them pulling into the parking lot, maybe getting out of their car, closing the door, opening the classroom door, sitting down, and we as an audience get it. Nothing was lost by eliminating all of those other steps to get that character from the parking lot to the classroom. Unless something important happens between the parking lot and the classroom, then it's not important for your story. Get rid of it, okay? Intertitles is text that is inserted into the film in order to cue the audience as to when and where they are now. You've seen it in SpongeBob, right? 15 minutes later. Don't rely too heavily on them. They're not that important. Just use them when it's absolutely necessary. Your lab assignment for this week, hey, there is none, okay? I just want you to take all the information that I've talked about today and apply it to your final summative project for this unit. I will go over that project very soon in class. We are going to watch a film this week. It is 12 Angry Men. You maybe had a middle school teacher who already showed it to you. If not, I guarantee you have a social studies teacher who's just itching to show it to you before you graduate, but I'm going to beat them. We're going to watch it here first and hopefully teach you some stuff about 12 Angry Men so that when you do get to that teacher who wants to show it to you later, you can already kind of have a leg up. One interesting thing to note about 12 Angry Men before we formally present it in class, it's a unique film because the story duration and the screen duration is almost exact. They spend about 2 hours deliberating whether or not this person was guilty of murder or not, and everything is told in real time. 2 hours of their life is 2 hours of our life. So it's pretty cool and it's pretty unique. That being said, there are 2 ellipses in the film. We start off in the courtroom, so to get from the courtroom to the deliberation room, they use an ellipses, and then to get us out of the deliberation room onto the street where all the jurors are leaving the courtroom, they use another ellipses. So, yeah. All of this stuff's in here, except intertitles. I don't think 12 Angry Men uses any intertitles. We'll forgive them, all right? That's it, guys. This is the end of the first unit. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Email me or talk to me in class. Bye. I'm out of here.